Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Out here testing my new Traxxas Maxx Slash Ultimate. This is a new release from Traxxas. They sent it to me for some testing. I'll show you guys what we got going on here in a minute. I'm just kidding, guys. This is something I built up. If you watch my last video, I love the Maxx Slash. I just felt like the one thing kind of lacking for me anyway was just the scale appearance to it. It kind of just looks like a big toy RC car, of course, because it is based off of a regular Slash. I tend to like a little bit more of a scale appearance, so let me show you guys what I did to this thing, and then we're going to give it a good rip, get some running video for you guys, and then I'll show you, stay tuned to the end of the video, and I'll show you a little more detail on the install on how I did this, and give you guys some ideas as far as getting parts for this and what else I might consider doing in the future. So stay to the end of the video if you really want to see in detail more of the install on this, but let me show you real quick. All right guys, so what we got here is Traxxas Maxx Slash. You can see it's a stock body, but I added a UDR interior, added these upright roll bars. All this stuff here is part of the original roll cage, so this thing is very well supported, very strong body. I don't think there's going to be any issues with having the windows cut out. I added these. I had to add a strip here. I'll get into more detail on the actual install and how I did this at the end of the video. You can see here I have the Traxxas Maxx Slash light kit, front and rear. This is a light bar, Meus racing light bar that I added. Just running the stock wheels and tires now. I know there's definitely some more scale looking stuff out there, but these hook up really nice. I'm happy with them. I have a Traxxas UDR rigid livery sticker kit on here. I think it looks really cool. Front kind of headlight blackouts here fit on there nicely. All the other stickers worked out really well. You guys a little roundabout here. You can see here, even added the little tail lights from the UDR. This is the Maxx Slash Traxxas light kit. Has working tail light, brake light, reverse light. This is a Polo Creation light kit that fits into the stock vents. Kind of okay with it. The light lenses are a little like faded looking. They are 3D printed and they just put white LEDs in there. So I'm not 100% happy with that. I might go ahead and put some colored LEDs in there, make it look a little bit better. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, man. I think this is how Traxxas should have done the Maxx Slash. Just my opinion. I tend to like more scale things, scale looking trucks. The stock Maxx Slash, awesome truck. I love it. It's just kind of lacking a little bit of soul. Kind of like the fake window stickers and everything, just kind of take me out of it a little bit. It just loses a little bit of that, that realism to the drive. So I think this just looks so much better. Let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna give this thing a bit of a rip. I'm starting out on 4S. I got some 6S batteries with me. We'll swap them out in a minute. And yeah, really cool spot here. Lots of sand, some whoops, some berms, some jumps. And I just ran my UDR here the other day. Had a lot of fun with that thing. Ended up breaking a front axle shaft. So let's see if this truck can do any better. And yeah, I'll let you guys know what I think. But okay, so starting out here, just running this thing on 3S. I do switch it over to 6S at some point through this video. This is the first time I would run this on 6S, and man, it is a really big difference. When I ran it on 6S, I was like, okay, now I understand why they put a wheelie bar on this truck. I took my wheelie bar off mainly because I just want this thing to look more scale. I just went through all this trouble of putting an interior and going, you know, making it look more like a UDR. So I don't want to have a wheelie bar in the back. And it kind of serves no purpose for me, you know, in the sand and loose dirt where I run it. I don't really need it. So I'm gonna leave it off. But yeah, I fully understand why they put it on there. The thing rips on 6S, definitely. At some point in the near future, I do want to do a little head-to-head kind of battle between the Maxx Slash and the UDR, because I do see a lot of questions and comments on Facebook groups where people aren't sure what to buy. It's kind of between a Maxx Slash or a Mojave or a UDR, and I kind of just want to run it back to back, like head to head, same day, in the same conditions. So subscribe and stay tuned if you want to see that video at some point in the future. I don't know exactly when, but hopefully soon. Weather's really not great to do it right now. Okay, so that was on 4S. Everything held up great. Let's see how much dirt we got inside this thing. I just placed an order from Scorched RC in the UK for some inner fenders. Just kind of block out all the crud from getting inside of this thing. Let's see how bad it is. Holy crap, I didn't expect it to be this bad. It's pretty much full. I mean, that's deep. This is a lot of weight. This is like wet sand here today. It rained overnight pretty good. Look how packed everything is. Let's see how hot the motor is. It's decently hot. I didn't have the fan on. I'm definitely gonna run it with 6S. I'm gonna turn this fan on. Yeah, so this fan just happens to be in a very bad spot. I mentioned it in the previous video. I either need to get like a full mesh cover. I guess when I get the scorched inner fenders, I'm gonna have to see how much it blocks out from the fan. The fan just gets caked with dirt and sand here because it's in a very bad spot. So it needs some kind of little guard here just to block it. It was all gunked up. I'm gonna see how well it works when I keep it running, because maybe just having this thing spin, I mean, it might be a bad idea. This thing might break right away or just get burnt out, but I don't know, I'm gonna try it. I feel like on 6S, this motor's gonna get a little bit hot. It's decently warm out today. It got up to about 60 degrees here, so let's run this on 6S and see how much more fun it is. Inside of the body, you know, not the worst. It really just flings up all of the dirt inside here. Luckily, it came out pretty easily. On these Z5200, they list these as a shorty pack. I don't know why they call it that. It's pretty much the same size as any other 5200, but they do fit in here perfectly. They also fit nicely in the UDR, which is mainly why I bought these. I'll link these up down below. All right, so now we get to 6S here, and you can really see the difference. I mean, the car is really kind of lights up on 6S, just wants to wheelie a lot. Still very controllable, very drivable. You just need to kind of ease off the throttle just a little bit, but I had a lot of fun with it. This is probably how I would choose to run it for the most part. Just keep it on 6S because the power's there if you need it, and of course you can just kind of let off when you don't need it. So very fun truck, handles great. You could see the difference, like just doing the editing here, watching both videos back to back. I had just posted up my UDR video, running it in the exact same place, also running that thing on 6S. Toward the end, I did break my axle shaft, so it ended up being a two-wheel drive UDR, but that was a lot of fun to drive it like that. But I could really see the difference in the handling between the two trucks, so I definitely want to do a video, a little head-to-head battle, and kind of, you know, see who comes out on top. I kind of have an idea. They're both very different, though. Taillights. Reverse light there. You have a high beam and a low beam. I believe this is on high now. You can select it from inside. It's still on there. Got pushed down a little bit from some of the tumbles, but so far so good. So I would actually put the Maxx Slash up against the Mojave 6S. They are pretty much in the exact same category, both four-wheel independent suspension. They both rip on 4S, but they're both really crazy on 6S. I almost feel like the Maxx Slash is a more refined version of the Arma Mojave. And by that, I just mean like it's a little smoother, it's quieter, it just feels a little bit better put together. The whole modular system that Traxxas has going on here with the whole plastic chassis and the way everything is kind of integrated and it fits together. It's just a really nice package. It's very well built. And I don't know, it just seems, it's definitely quieter, and of course that kind of makes it overall just seem a little bit more refined and a little more well built in some ways, and it also seems lighter. It just drives a lot lighter. I don't know the exact weight. The fan's doing okay. When it's running, it's keeping the motor really nice and cool. I'm actually having more of an issue of like just leaves and little like sticks and shit getting caught up in here. More so than just the dirt. I think with it running, the dirt kind of just flies right through, so not a huge issue, but man, this thing's getting all loaded up. I gotta say that with the extra weight, it's actually handling pretty nice. It's sitting nice and low. I don't think the weight of the dirt is a big problem, and a lot of it probably does bounce out, but yeah, it's just packing and kind of everything here and making it a big mess. So luckily it's sand, it's gonna clean up relatively easily. I also like how everything in the Maxx Slash is sealed. Your spur gear is covered here, the whole center drive shaft is covered. you know, you don't really get a lot of stuff just grinding into your spar and pinion like you would on a regular, like say like a Mojave or something. So I do really like that. I did have all of the wheel nuts came loose a little bit. They were pretty tight when I started. I didn't over torque them because it is plastic on this washer assembly inside here, but they all came loose. So definitely recommendation is keep an 8mm with you, and every so often just check these. I don't know if they do need a little bit of Loctite, but these are nylock fasteners. They should stay nice and tight. Maybe that was just a one-time thing, but I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on these. One was about ready to come loose and probably strip out the wheel hex, so very lucky I caught that. So keep an eye on that, guys. So I'm trying not to talk over myself here, but yeah, I don't know, weight-wise, this versus the Mojave, this definitely, in my feeling, that it's got to be a little bit lighter, you know, because it is all plastic, but it definitely drives a lot lighter. It just feels a little more nimble, a little more agile than the Mojave. Right out of the box, I'd give, like, looks-wise, I'd give it to the Mojave, of course, because it comes with an interior. It just has a little more scale detail to it. But here, you know, that's another reason I did this. I really feel like this brings it up a notch, where now it can directly compete with the Mojave in terms of looks, performance, you know, everything about it. I really love this truck now. Super happy with the way it turned out. And I mentioned at some point now, like, I feel like the looks match the performance of the truck a little bit better. And I wouldn't really put it up against the UDR. Straight up, there are very different trucks. If you want something that's ultra scale and you're going to drive it in a little more scale manner, UDR is still the absolute pain to me. It just has a very different feel to it. It's a different experience. So I want to put these head to head and just see, you know, where each one excels. But they're different enough where it's kind of cool to have both. And what I like about this is everything I did to this is all contained to the body. So if I want to revert this thing back into like bash mode, all I have to do is just get a different body. I can pick up like a used body or a takeoff body, and hey, it's back to full basher mode. All right, guys, that's a wrap on this one. Huge success with this. I think it looks awesome. Everything held up extremely well. Having issues with that fan just because of the amount of dirt and stuff that I'm getting in there, little leaves and debris. I got to either make a cover for it, get a mesh cover. I think it's going to take a couple weeks for me to get these inner fenders from scorched, but I think that's going to ultimately really solve the problem. And maybe I'll put a little like mesh screen over the intake of the fan, and those two things could really end up taking care of that. That was the only issue I had the entire day. Well, aside from the wheel nuts, I mentioned those. Check your wheel nuts. I'm going to keep an eye on them, see if they come loose again. After I tightened them the first time, they seem to be fine. The truck ran awesome on 6S. Didn't have any issues at all. Nothing broke. Awesome truck. And now I think the looks actually match the performance, which is pretty much exactly what I was after. I think overall, really happy with the way this turned out. Let me know what you guys think, if you like it. But yeah, so now I'll insert a couple clips of how I did the install, just so you guys get a better view of the interior and what I did to mount the UDR up to this body and how I cut out the windows and so on. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Comment if you have any questions. I'll get back to you guys. Check out, I still need to create a playlist for this truck. I'll have everything in one spot. This way, if you guys want to keep up to date with any of the Maxx Slash videos, they'll all be in one spot. Later, guys. Let me show you guys how I did this. So first off, these upright supports here, they're not part of the standard internal roll cage like this is. This is the original Traxxas roll cage. These do not exist. So this, you can see, it's not really even attached to anything up top. These are just pieces of an old, actually an inner roll cage from an X-Max that I had lying around. You can cut any kind of plastic that kind of matches this. And I just screwed it to my little support piece here from underneath. And at the top, I made like a little cross piece in here to keep these together. I could zip tie it to the inner cage at some point, but we'll see. At this point, it doesn't even need to be done. But let me show you what we got going on in here. So this, of course, is your UDR interior, and you can see here where that ends. This piece here, this large plastic piece, is a filler strip that I cut from Kydex plastic, which is basically a sheet. You can get different size sheets, has a kind of a textured side and a shiny side. So I just cut a strip to the right size that I needed once I had the body positioned kind of forward and back where I wanted it. and I just cut a piece the length here, and then, you know, the width, and then I attached it with these. Let me show you what I got here. These holes are the existing mounts for the UDR interior, so I screwed it to the plastic piece there, and then I used these wire clamps. These are just P-clamps for wiring. You can get them at like Harbor Freight. These are 3/8 P-clamps, or you can find them on Amazon. Let me find the box real quick. It's these nylon cable clamp assortment. I've seen them listed under a P-clamp, and you could use a zip tie if you wanted to just attach this to. I just had these and I figured it's a little bit neater. Did the same thing in the back. I cut a filler strip in the back, basically just to make this interior the same size as the square in this original Traxxas cage. Just made it so much easier to mount. And the same deal, I screwed the UDR interior to that in 3 spots, and then I used 2 P-clamps there. What I noticed though, it was a little bouncy up and down, so I added a little clamp there. You can see the screw here and here. I added a clamp there around the side of the frame too, just to kind of really keep it in position. And this is just all for my lighting. I just have a little splitter here, zip tied it there, and that's it. It's that simple. And then, you know, to cut out the windows, I just used, you know, just a regular hobby knife, one of these dealies, X-Acto, whatever you want to call it, and carefully, so the window stickers, as long as they're on straight, they're actually a good guide. You can just trim around and score it lightly, you know, and then go deeper and deeper as you go. And then you get to the point where you could actually almost press through it and do like a little sawing motion, and then, you know, but just take your time. The first cut is not the deepest. You want to go, don't go Sheryl Crow on this thing. You want to go light on the first cut and just be as precise as possible, because every cut after that is going to want to try to follow in that exact line. So just go as light as possible at first and then go deeper and deeper. The interesting thing I found, and I'll tell you how I mounted this light. Traxxas has a mount inside this original cage that looks like it would be for a light bar. Kind of odd that they have that. And then there's a couple other little mounts on the top here. I don't know what they would be for, if they had other intentions with this somewhere down the road. But you can mount a light bar directly to this, like straight across side to side. But it ends up kind of sitting too far in and a little too far low. So again, I used this plastic material and I just made like a little rectangular bracket and screwed it onto this with a nut on the back, so it extends up and it supports my light bar here. And again, this is a Meus Racing light bar. You need to find one that is the right size. I'll link this one up down below, but it pretty much fits perfect here. And you could set this in or out as far as you want. Of course, it's gonna depend on, you know, if you have any kind of uprights in here, whatever you wanna do with that. But that's pretty much it. I just added these little extinguishers back here that you didn't see in the video. But yeah, it's as easy as that. And you know, it's solid. Everything's in there, fits nice. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'll link up a couple things down below if you want to check it out. The light bar, the Kydex. That's kind of about it. Maybe these, I got these off Amazon. You can find these everywhere. Yeah, like $8 for like 2 of them. We'll see how long they stay on. I did mount them with the stock bracket, but I also put some E6000 glue behind it just to really make sure they're on there. They're pretty well protected, so I don't think they're gonna really have an issue. And that's it. That's pretty much sums it up.